When someone goes missing, we assume they've gone to a better place, or that one day they'll come back home, walking through the front door, just like nothing happened. But unfortunately, some disappearances are forever tragic. In today's video, we will be looking at a case that even the police are baffled by. This is the boy who disappeared without a trace and is still unsolved today. On June 2007, in the city of Houston, Texas, something unimaginable happened. A 5-year-old boy named Anthony was playing with his friends near an apartment complex when he vanished into thin air. His mother had been out shopping for the day, and when she came home, her son was nowhere to be found. It was the kind of situation that every parent fears. Where could he have gone? Was he abducted? Had he run away from home? The police had no idea. After the authorities had investigated everything they could think of, there was still no sign of Anthony. They grew more and more worried as each day passed, and Anthony's disappearance remained unexplained. His family were devastated. 5 years old is far too young for someone to disappear and never be seen again. So where did he go? And most importantly, how did he get there? While it might sound crazy, this case has a few twists and turns that will shock you. Before we start, make sure you turn on notifications so you don't miss our daily uploads. Let's begin. All of Anthony's friends told the same story to the police. They were all playing as usual, and then suddenly he was gone. There was no sign of a struggle or anything out of the ordinary. Anthony simply vanished. His friends said that he was right there 1 minute, and then the next, he was gone. At first, his mother thought that perhaps he'd been taken by a stranger. Many children go missing due to abduction, so it wasn't too far-fetched. But after weeks of searching, they had nothing. His mother was desperate for answers. How could such a big event happen and nobody see anything else? As days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months, the family's hopes of finding Anthony alive began to dwindle. But they never lost hope that one day he would be found. What could have possibly happened to him? Could he really have vanished into thin air? Was there some secret that his friends knew but couldn't tell the police? The mystery deepened, and everyone in the neighborhood was asking themselves the same questions. In any missing person investigation, the first 48 hours are crucial, but tragically, this was not a normal case. After the first 48 hours, then the first week, then the first month, it seemed as if Anthony's case was going to go cold. But this was not the case. Even years later, people are still trying to find answers in this perplexing case. At first, the police believed that someone must have kidnapped him, but now they weren't so sure. Could there be another explanation? Maybe Anthony had run away from home, but that didn't make any sense either. Why would a 5-year-old child do that? He was a happy kid who had no reason to leave home. Then maybe he'd gotten lost. But how could a child get lost in a place that he'd been countless times before? There were many questions, but very few answers. Every time the police thought they were close to a breakthrough, they hit another dead end. And as the years went on, the case grew more and more complicated. For example, was Anthony a victim of foul play, or did he simply run away from home? The police were unsure. If he had been kidnapped, why was he specifically chosen? And what had happened to his abductors since then? Or maybe he hadn't been kidnapped at all. So where could he be now? These questions remained unanswered for many years until recently. A man named Darian Vence came forward claiming that he had seen Anthony on the day he disappeared. But how could this man come forward 8 years later and claim to have seen Anthony that day? Did he really see the boy, or was he making it up? Darian said that he had seen Anthony arguing with an older man shortly before he disappeared. According to Darian, Anthony was arguing with a man about a bicycle. But police records contain no reports of such an argument. That same day, Anthony's mother said that he was wearing a blue t-shirt and shorts when he left the house. but Darian claimed that Anthony was wearing a red t-shirt. And finally, security footage from a nearby gas station showed Anthony walking toward the parking lot where he was last seen. But after that, the video cuts off and nobody knows what happened to him. Even with this new evidence, the police had no idea what had happened to Anthony. It was a frustrating situation, and they wanted answers too. But there was only one thing left to do. Despite the lack of evidence and the passage of time, the search for Anthony continued. The police continued to follow up on leads, and the family continued to hold out hope that their son would be found alive. But as the years went on, they knew that it was becoming less and less likely. However, in 2013, something happened that gave them new hope. A man named Israel Keys confessed to being an abductor and murderer of several children. He also admitted to abducting Anthony, but refused to reveal where his body was located. With this new information, the police were able to search for Anthony's remains. Unfortunately, despite the best efforts of the police and the family, Anthony's remains have never been found. After all these years, the case remains unsolved, and Anthony's family is still looking for answers. In the meantime, they have set up a foundation in Anthony's name to help other families who have experienced the same tragedy. The loss of a child is one of the worst things that can happen to a parent, and it's hard to imagine the pain and suffering that Anthony's parents have endured over the years. It's important to remember that even though Anthony may be gone, he will never be forgotten. His memory lives on in the hearts of his family and in the work of the foundation that bears his name. As we continue to investigate this case, we hope that one day Anthony's family will get the answers they deserve. Although this case may never be solved, we must continue to fight for justice for Anthony and all other victims of abduction. No child should ever have to go through what he did, and no family should ever have to endure the pain of losing a child without knowing what happened to them. Anthony's parents have never given up hope that their son will be found one day. They continue to search for answers and to raise awareness about child abduction in the hopes that their son's case will be solved and that other families will be prevented from experiencing the same tragedy. Their dedication to finding Anthony and helping other families is an inspiration to us all. As we continue to investigate this case, we hope that one day Anthony's family will get the answers they deserve. While it may be difficult to come to terms with the fact that Anthony may never be found, his family's determination to keep searching is admirable. They refuse to give up hope that one day they will find their son and bring him home. But what do you think happened to Anthony? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked this video, make sure to check out more content. With that, thanks for watching and see you next time.